Hi guys, I'm glad you're all here. Thank you very much for joining me. Yeah, nothing to see. Just move along. Look how dark that steam is that's coming up there. This is from the Old Faithful live webcam. Looking around the upper geyser basin. Look at how dark that steam is. A lot of heat. And you can see the different areas where, snow has melted away. Still below zero at night. Now that's not counting wind chill. Currently it's 18 degrees and tonight it's supposed to be 1 degree below zero. What kind of winds do we have here? 2 miles an hour it looks like on average. Right now they're saying no wind, but you know there's wind. And we're going to have some snow tomorrow. On Tuesday it's going to be 2 below zero tomorrow night. And yeah, looks like the highest temperature is going to be 17. That'll be Friday, but it's going to snow. The water that is melting the rock has to get up to over 2,000 degrees. And that's heated by the magma coming up. And when the rock melts, it comes up with the steam. Let me bring it over. Yeah, they're claiming there was a magnitude 2.0 earthquake today. Yep, used to be, they never had magnitude 2s or greater. And look at the snow that's all melted. So they're saying that this earthquake was 7.4 kilometers in depth, or 4.6 miles. All earthquakes are measured from sea level. They have it listed as today, but it was 11:38 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Here's the seismic monitor for 4 different websites. On the left is Western Boundary. This one here next to it, that is a borehole. It's a very deep well dug under the ground, over 600 feet under the ground, so it doesn't pick up any activity outside of what's been drilled down there under the ground. Then we have Maple Creek, the second from the right, and Soda Butte on the far right. There would be the spectrogram for the different monitors. And this here is Maple Creek. I'll make that one bigger. And then we'll take a look at the other one, which is the borehole. And let's take a look at the seismic signature for that one. And then the seismic signature for Maple Creek. So this is the monitor for the borehole. Borehole 950. They did not fudge. I really expected them to fudge about it. It's actually a magnitude 2.03. And then we got another one. Let's see, right there marked in red. At 810. Yeah. They're saying that's a magnitude 0.6. 5 kilometers in depth, or 3.1 miles below sea level. That would be in the upper magma chamber where there's partial melt, anywhere between 15 to 20% melt. I had someone argue about the fact of how deep these earthquakes are, and you can see over here on the right how it goes really close to the surface. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Let's see. Yeah, these are hot spots for Yellowstone. Depth in kilometers. Yeah, you can see here, this is the, if I can make that bigger for you. Let's see. Nope. Alright, I'll go back to this image here. This is, kilometers over here. And, yeah, if you can see, it's actually up above the yellow line. I wish they would put it in kilometers. Now, I do know that there is areas under the ground where people walk only 600 feet, it used to be, under the ground, that does have partial melt. Okay. Here's another chart showing the hot spot. Okay, over here on the left, 2 kilometers in depth. Yeah, and see that recent earthquake that they're claiming is a 0.6 was 3 kilometers in depth. And let me try and make this bigger for you. Bring it over. Okay. So here is the resurgent domes. This is the outside rim, supposedly, of the magma caldera. Yeah, I always said it should be farther up towards the north because it's slowly moving that way. This is actually a magnitude 1.30. Oh, it shut down on me. Yeah, it's not no magnitude 0.6. Let's go to the hertz. See what we got. Not that it'll tell us very much. Okay, and then the seismic signature. Let me make that. I think I can make it bigger. Let me try. No, let's just do it that way. Yeah, see, that one's got a rounded top. This is, yeah, harmonic, slow-moving tremors. And, yeah, well, because it's so shallow, yeah, it would be also volcanic tremors. Volcanic tremors are generally about 3 kilometers in depth. And then here on the borehole, we got some more marked in red down here. And let's make that bigger. And then there's another one there. It's going to get smaller and smaller on me. I don't know why it does that. See, you can actually watch it start shrinking. Okay, let's try it again. Okay. Yeah, we got several there. Several earthquakes along this line, which would be, I believe, 830. Yeah, look at that one. Okay, I'm going to make that one bigger. Yeah, see, harmonic tremors. Yeah, harmonic tremors. And then it goes into tectonic, the cracking of the fault, which is, yeah, the ground's getting so brittle because of the pressure coming up. Yeah. But these, let me check again, but these have not been reported by USGS. This one, too, has not been reported. Let me pull it up. Yeah, they only have 2 listed within the last 24 hours. And let's go to the last week. Okay, right there. Yeah, they're only listing 6. There's one way up over here to the east. Okay, and the largest would be this magnitude 2.0. And this is the Madison River area. They went 3 days without reporting anything. They got another 0.6. That would have been on Friday. Yeah, and on the weekends they don't report what's going on. A 0.9 and a 2.0 on the 18th. That would have been on Wednesday last week. So this one they're not reporting at 4:36 Universal Time. Would have been at 10:36 p.m. last night. And that comes in as a magnitude 1.46. What else do we got before I do the recent ones? Let's see. Okay, that's all we got in red. Now this is the borehole. Let me bring it back up. Yeah, borehole 950. So that comes in as a magnitude 1.79. Let me go to the next one over here. They probably would have just put them all in together. If I put them all in together as one earthquake, that would have been a magnitude 2.12. Let me bring it down here so you can see it. 2.12 instead of dividing them up into. Because see how it starts out small as a slow-moving tremor and slowly got bigger and then popped. And then just kind of faded out. Yeah, we'll do that as a 2.12. Okay, and then this one here. Let's see. That would probably be a magnitude 1.87. Again, not being reported, and then we got some littler stuff that came in afterwards. Yeah, more popping. See that? And there. And there. And another one. And another one. We'll see if it's on the other monitors. But again, this is the borehole. Yeah, look at that. Harmonic tremors. For those of you that might be new to watching what's going on at Yellowstone, this is an explanation what harmonic tremors are. A harmonic tremor is a sustained release of seismic and infrastatic energy typically associated with the underground movement of magma, the venting of volcanic gases from magma, or both. Here on Wired.com, I'll give you a link to this. It says when magma or fluids move through the crust, they can produce a small seismic signal, harmonic tremor. They didn't know about harmonic tremors until Mount St. Helens went off in, 1991? Unlike normal seismicity related to fault movement that creates punctuated seismicity, a singular event that diminishes with time and can then have aftershocks. The movement of magma or fluid can produce a constant long period tremor. This tremor is also not like most tectonic seismicity in the sense that it is usually only measurable by seismic instruments. So you can't feel the tremor other than in a very rare occurrence within 5 kilometers of the volcano. Harmonic tremors were first recorded as a precursor of volcanic activity after the 1985 eruption in Colombia. I was going to say Mount St. Helens, and I've been saying that for a while. The tremor might precede an eruption by days or hours, or they may not lead to an eruption at all. This is one of the challenges trying to interpret harmonic tremors under a volcano. Magma movement does not necessarily mean that said magma is going to erupt. Other complications is that harmonic tremors can be generated by water fluid flow rather than magma. This is demonstrated at Old Faithful. Well, we're not looking at Old Faithful. And even in ice movement. Yeah, this comes from the borehole, so it's not, definitely not Old Faithful. I was going to do the most recent earthquake that shows up on all 3 monitors, which is this one right here. And you can see we got screaming here. Screaming is when magma comes into the system so fast that it can't record it. You can see it there, and then there was another incident right there. Now this is Soda Butte. I noticed on the western boundary on Sunday, there was screaming going on also. I have not seen it lately. Let me jump over to the western boundary real quick. All right, here you can see it shows the 22nd. And so this would have been the 21st, Sunday, I believe. Let me double check. No, Saturday. This would have been Saturday. Okay, and we got popping up the ground going on. Where is it at? Let me see. Let me close this out. Oh, right here. Yeah, this is the western boundary. Okay. So we got, I don't know if I can make that bigger. See where the magma came up? 2 big gushes of it, and then it went quiet in between here. Yeah, that's where it was screaming right there. I don't know if I can make that bigger for you. Probably not. Let me try. Yeah, see this space right here? That's where it went quiet. Yeah, and these are volcanic tremors where the ground popped. Yeah. Let me go back to the spectrogram. It'll be really big. Okay. Yeah, there's some more right there. Let me go back to this one. And we'll go to this one. Yeah, this is the western boundary, which is, yeah, I've talked about this. This is near the entrance down there, which would be down here in this area. Okay, and then over here, let's see, what monitor do I have? Borehole 207. Let's see, haven't been able to get that one to work in a while. And then this is the Norris Geyser Basin over here. Oh, 950. That's the one I've been showing you at the Geyser Basin there. But anyways, the western boundary is down over here. And this is what it was showing back then on the 21st. Yeah, we got another spot there. Yeah, been a lot of activity. Okay, let's go down to what it was showing today. Okay, let's bring this down. All right. Yeah, basically more of the same. And you can see the line of melt. Yeah, this has been showing a lot of activity of late. Yeah, let me see what else we might have. Let's see, let's go there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lines of melt, it looks like. And then we'll go up over here. Yeah, I don't see any more screaming, not to say that it's not doing it. We'll pull it through here. Yeah, I wonder if in that area, people that are visiting the park have noticed that the ground is heated more there. Here's a current view of the west entrance. Let's see, and they got another one. This is the one coming into the park, and there's another one heading into the park. Okay, this one comes into the park, and the other one is after they go through the pay station. But it looks pretty good there. And here's a static cam image of Old Faithful. Yeah, this is what I was talking about, all the snow that's melting. The parking lot and the buildings were actually built on top of the hydrothermal system for Old Faithful. Yeah, looking a little dirty. Here we have a live view of Firehole River. Yeah, this area has been really heated lately. Off over here on the right, that is the Mallard Lake Resurgent Dome. And yeah, rising up as the magma comes into the system and recharging. And this has definitely been heated lately. You can tell by the color of the steam. So going back to the western boundary here, I've talked about how I believe that there is a crack and the magma is trying to come up with dike intrusion. I showed images of examples of the dike intrusion in my last video of Yellowstone. And I'm just going through these recent little quakes that show up here. But I don't see the screaming. I just see the areas where it looks like it's trying to come up. Yeah. And let me pull it a little bit farther down. This is where I pulled the files. So that's all I have for you right now. If you have any thoughts or comments or questions, please put it down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please thumbs up my videos. That will help with the ranking here on YouTube, and hopefully they'll send out notifications when I make a video. And thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate all you guys that do support me and subscribe and share my videos. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.